Hello everybody and just here and welcome back to Symphogear Season 2, Episode 5 if I'm not mistaken. I don't think I am, but yep, SO2EO5. That's what we're gonna be watching today, and we are gonna start strong. If the last episode's cliffhanger is something to consider, because the last episode ended with Bulk and Skull, or as they are actually called, Kirika and Shirabe. I have a list of characters open now, so I'm gonna stop calling them Bulk and Skull. I'm gonna refer to them by their names. They infiltrated the school and they took part in. Well, took part. They were on the part of the public who was watching Chris and others sing, and now they want to have some sort of a battle of the bands kind of thing. They want to go against Chris, who won the whole recital, or whatever you want to call it, and they want to take the title from her. Kind of weird that they are revealing themselves just like that. I thought their entire purpose of being there was to be sneaky and to steal the amulet, the artifact from Chris or from Tsubasa or from anybody who possesses one, because the Nephilim, yeah, the monster, it essentially feeds on relics, artifacts, symphogears, and whatnot. And now that they are out of their hideout, they need a new source of those things for it. But now, apparently, Kirika and Shirabe decided to reveal themselves, and they will try to outsing Chris, apparently. Kind of a weird plot point, but I appreciate it, right? It's not. You don't need darkness and seriousness everywhere, not and at all times. Some levity is also needed in a series. Otherwise, it would be all very depressing, and I'm not a huge fan of shows that are just depressing. That's why I never watched like Grimgar. I never watched ReZero because they seem to me like just depression material. And yeah, and I don't like dramas, romantic dramas least of all. I've seen Your Lie in April. That was a mistake. I'm not ever gonna see anything like that again. And I've seen Your Life in April like a few years after watching Clanad. I thought I'm ready, I wasn't. Oh boy, I wasn't. I'm just gonna stick to happy shows. Yeah, okay. I think that's it. I don't think I need to talk about anything more. I'm just gonna. Yeah, I wanna see the runtime of the recording, just like that. There we go. Uh, okay, I think I'm just gonna give you some subs, myself some sound, and we are ready to roll. Yep, we are. So, episode 5 of Symphogear G, with subs by D-Truck, if I'm not mistaken, is gonna be starting in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, we are starting right where we left off. Those useless fucking glasses, though. Skull wants to take part, and Bulk will accompany her. Opening? Opening. Right, someone mentioned that the people in the background, shown in the background, are like uh, historical or mythical figures who are connected to the Symphogears, right? Like the owner of the Gangnir, the mythological owner of the Gangnir, is in the background of Hibiki. And thus, I'm assuming Kirika and Shirabe have their gears from a single mythological character, because there's only a single person in the background of two of them. I don't know. I don't know how deep I should be looking into the OP. Probably pretty damn deep. I mean, it's Symphogear. Pomegranate and raspberry. They took off their glasses and now you can recognize them. Fucking Clark Kents. I like how we're bringing Miku into this. I probably shouldn't be saying that I like it, because it might end up with her in danger. I forgot to light the light. But I like the fact from like a storytelling perspective that she's no longer on the sidelines, that she's no longer like, separated from it all. She's a part of the whole shebang right now. Is Maria having second thoughts because she lied to them about Finé? Let's fight the SWAT. Yep, yep. Maria is having doubts. She's not a bad girl. She is. I love her leprechaun shoes. Yeah, and to speak about it openly. But I wanna make a big show of it. No, they just wanna sing this time. They don't wanna fight. What are you gonna do, Maria? Are you gonna become a villain, like a villain? Or are you gonna stand up to mom? Those are the two only paths that are before you. Yeah, they're trying to get to you. I mean, what else? They can sing all right. Without any prep or anything, perfectly synchronized on stage. Nephilim? No, noise. Ah, the doctor, the professor, or whatever you want to name him. Dr. Ver. Okay. Don't, like, projectiles and regular weapons just pass through noise? Wouldn't wouldn't noise like provide absolutely no protection to Ver? Like you can shoot through them? What are you gonna do, Maria? Do you want to continue on this path? And you, do you want to do villainy? Or do you want to sing on stage and hear people cheering for you? Everyone is having doubts. Maria is gonna save them? Maria, it's your time to shine. I guess she's not gonna do shit after all. And is she gonna stand up to Ver and Mother? That's also another question. Just how redeemable is she? Sure, she's crying right now, but is she gonna do anything about it? Yep. Go after them and try to reform them. Should be easy seeing how many doubts each of them has. They would really rather enjoy themselves than have to fight, right? Yep. Right on the spot. Duel! Yep. Neither of them wants to be a part of it. And now Maria is also having doubts. Because Dr. Ver just murdered a couple of children, and the mom did absolutely nothing about it. And Maria herself did absolutely nothing about it. Gangnir? Yep. So it has to come from a different shard. Right, she was dealing with the American government, wasn't she? So that she doesn't rat them out, obviously. Or that. Sure, that's also a possibility. Power. What else? Activating the frontier. What the fuck is the frontier? Who the fuck is Serena? And what wishes did she have? To murder innocent kids? Backstory? Okay, backstory time, I'm assuming. And I'm assuming that was Serena. And Serena died in the process. Yep, superb song. Maria's younger sister. Hmm. Is that Gangnir? The flowery bits at the back do look like Gangnir. And she's dead. And everyone is dead. Okay, that's what we've seen in like the first episode. Yep, they don't care about Serena. And I'm assuming that's why they split off from their like government. Yep, that's what we've seen in the first episode. Why is Mother trying to awaken the Nephilim again then? Serena died to try to suppress the Nephilim and restore it back to its inert form. Why are you trying to awaken it again? Not just trying to awaken it, but trying to awaken it with far fewer resources than you used to have. You used to have the backing of the entire government and it didn't work out. Now you have a veto. And that's all you have. And now you're trying to reawaken the Nephilim. No, that's not how being Finé works. That's genuinely not how being Finé works. She doesn't give a shit. She doesn't give a shit about either of you. Your battle. They have nothing to do with it. Yep. Here's Dr. Ver. Ooh, letterboxed henshin scene. Interesting. I guess it's so that the three of them fit better side by side. Triple henshin, the staple of like every series that has henshins. Single straight line, the shortest path. Absolutely. Oh, they will be swayed. You better believe it. Sure. Is it falling? Yeah. Okay, but why are you literally murdering innocent people to fix it? Something you can't control. Something that literally no one can control. Something that needs. Ooh! Come! Okay, that's your plan. It's a very shit plan. But I guess it's a plan. Ooh! Double punch! Double fisting! Hell yeah! Cue Maria stopping her. Her fists aren't taking any lives so far. Chomp. Huh. Okay. Okay. I guess Hibiki is part relic, and the Nephilim feeds on relics. So it just got a nice little meal, nice little snack. And that's where we're ending. Huh. Well, that's a cliffhanger and a half, isn't it? Well, that's a cliffhanger and a half. Hmm. I don't wanna give in. I don't wanna watch another. But I also kinda wanna watch another. We'll see. We'll see. Hmm. Okay, I guess their plan makes some semblance of a sense. Terrorize the world with Nephilim, use it to unite it, and if everyone is united under a single government, you can announce that the moon is on the collision trajectory and you can do something about it because there's no one to oppose you. It's an extremely roundabout plan, but I guess it is a plan, so sure, whatever. Let's go through it again. And let's talk a little bit more about what happened throughout this episode. Yeah, OP, OP, OP. That means yours fades out more and more. Protecting Maria is the reason we fight, and Maria has her doubts. She has her doubts, and even Mother notices. What does she say exactly? Are you having regrets? That's another thing that makes me wholeheartedly believe Maria isn't Finé. She's lying to Kirika. Maria and Mother are lying to Kirika, to Shirabe, to Dr. Ver. They are using the standing, quote unquote, that Finé has to have them under their control. Right? Shirabe, Kirika, you have to fight because if Maria fights, then she might turn into Finé eventually, and you wouldn't want that, would you? Dr. Ver, I heard that you really like Finé and you're a devout follower of Finé. Well, wouldn't you guess it? My daughter is actually Finé reincarnated. I think we could work together. You know, I really believe that this is exactly what they're doing. And another hint at that was when later Maria said that, oh, even if Finé starts controlling me, then I will still be myself. Well, no. That's like the exact opposite of how possession by Finé works. Finé completely overrides your actual personality. Sure, by the end of the last episode, we've seen like Ryoko flash through Finé by the end, but she wasn't in control all the time. It is only after right before her death that her original personality flashed back. So yeah, every single episode, every single mention of Finé here makes me even more entrenched in my belief that Maria is not Finé. She's just using that moniker, or rather, Mother is using Maria's moniker as Finé to control people. What should we do? We should fight. They're just normal humans. Well, your mother doesn't give a fuck. Your mother genuinely doesn't give a fuck. She will murder, she will plunder, she will spill the blood of innocent children, she will slap her own adopted kids. I think that's how we can refer to Bulk and Skull. She don't give a fuck. She has a goal, and she wants to achieve that goal. Nothing else matters. Literally nothing else. Maria isn't like that. Maria, I'm assuming she's taking part in that fight because of her sister. Although, if anything, what happened to her sister should be a sign to Maria to just say fuck it and not continue with any of that. It's very weird. I hope we're gonna get deeper into their motivations fairly soon, because some of it is still very much incomprehensible and very much illogical. Yeah, they want the pendants, they're singing, and they're singing good. And attack, Dr. Ver just kills everybody with noise. And somehow manages to protect himself with noise. Not here, a little further, I think. Or a little earlier, doesn't matter. He was essentially hiding behind the noise, which is weird because I really thought that projectiles just passed through noise as if they were nothing, so they wouldn't really provide much of a shield for Ver. Innocent children. Maria wants to stop him, but ultimately she doesn't do shit about it. And Mother doesn't give a shit about it. And Mother doesn't give a shit about them either. It's very much an abusive relationship, and I fucking hate it. I fucking hate abusive relationships. With, like, every fiber of my being. That they're not gonna stand up for themselves. Right? I know that it's victim blaming and whatnot, but that's just, that's just how I feel about it. Maria isn't gonna stand against Mother. Neither Kirika nor Shirabe are gonna stand against the Mother. Mother isn't gonna stand against Ver. They're just killing, murdering. Maria is crying about it, but she doesn't give a fuck, ultimately, because she doesn't do anything about it. She could have, but she didn't. Kirika and Shirabe are, I'm assuming, being abused because a slap like that doesn't happen for the first time. It certainly wasn't the first time. And they were having genuinely great time here, singing for a wider public and having the public love it. And they were enjoying themselves on the festival, and that's cool. And they're not having any of that in their lives. They were robbed of their childhood, essentially, or teenhood, or whatever you want to call it. And they were having genuinely good time. And they don't want to fight our main trio after they escape. They really don't. And yet they are being controlled by Mother. And again, they do nothing about it. Which makes me wait with bated breath for the moment of a vindication that I know will arrive. I want to see Kirika and Shirabe team up against Ver and just annihilate him. I want the end of Mother be Mother's beating heart in Maria's hand. I know that whatever climax happens here to their abusive relationship is probably not gonna be that, but a man can dream. Yeah, you're crying, but you didn't do anything. You're crying about something you could have done, but you didn't. You have you have a Symphogear your mother doesn't. You can stand up against her if you want, but you won't because you won't. Yeah, they don't want to fight. They really don't. Look at how sad Kirika is here. I think she genuinely believes Hibiki's words, but they are being manipulated and they are being held hostage. I don't know how exactly, but they are. The Black Gangnir is Gangnir. That's important to know. The Nephilim is still only partly grown. You do not have time to continue to doubt yourself. More mental abuse. And here we see a flashback, more of a flashback, because we've seen a part of it in episode 1. As we expected, it's impossible to control the relic without a song. We expected it, and yet we tried, and now we're surprised. Wow. And now one of the sisters has to sing a superb song to revert that Nephilim back into its inert form. And she does it. She sacrifices herself. And nobody gives a fuck. Not even Mother, notice. Only Maria. Only Maria gives a fuck about Serena. Mother, I guess in the end she tackles Maria to save her, and she herself gets injured in the process, but nobody gives a fuck about Serena. This is this is weird to me. This is very weird to me. Maria loses her sister, and I'm treating it literally. I don't know if Serena is her literal sister or just a term for her that she uses or just close relative or whatever. I'm just gonna call her her sister. Maria witnesses her sister die in an attempt to stop Nephilim. And her sister manages to stop that Nephilim. And now Maria is perfectly okay with them bringing Nephilim back. Why? Why? She lost her own sister to that. To the Nephilim. And there's Mother, right? This experiment had the backing of like an entire branch of a government. They had all the funding they might have wanted. They had all sorts of like Symphogear users at their disposal. And they weren't able to control the Nephilim. And they needed human sacrifice to make that Nephilim inert again. And now she believes she can use the Nephilim and control it with much fewer resources. It's weird. It's like super fucking weird. There's absolutely no logic in what they're doing, absolutely no reason, no reasoning. Unless something new is revealed that kinda redeems their plans, quote unquote. I honestly don't like them as villains. So, right now, I honestly don't think I do. I know that they're trying to do good, essentially, right? We are gonna use the Nephilim to unite the world, and then we will be able to uh, bring the moon back into a safe position unhindered or whatever. But they're doing it in an extremely stupid way. The villain of the first season, right? Finé, was genuinely great. She had this plan for years and years and years. She was building the cutting gear underground. And eventually she fired it. And she succeeded! Mind you. She succeeded. What's more, her plan didn't involve the sacrifice of like innocent people. Right? And she genuinely was, at least partially, coming at it from the position of like genuine love and compassion for her fellow humans, for Lulu Amel. She wanted to break the curse so that everybody is able to speak the same tongue. Sure, she had ulterior motive. She wanted to be the ruler of the world, but at its core, what she wanted to do is save humanity from the curse of Balal. Here, they have the motivation to either completely destroy the moon or bring the moon back to its original trajectory. But why do you need to control the world to do that? Why do you need to terrorize the world to control it? Why do you need to terrorize the world with something you cannot hope to control? If they were to try to terrorize the world and gain control of it by utilizing noise, that would have been understandable, right? Release some noise, have Maria, Kirika, and Shirabe defeat that noise, make them heroes and whatnot, and use that to eventually bring to light the fact that the moon is slowly inching towards the Earth. In their plans, there are layers and layers and layers of just not making sense, honestly. And in the characters, there are layers and layers and layers. I wanted to say of not making sense either, but more like layers of abuse, honestly. I don't like their plan because it makes no sense, honestly. Unless they have some ulterior motive, then sure. Right? If Mother has an ulterior motive, or Ver has an ulterior motive, and the whole thing about the moon crashing down is only their excuse that they use to convince Maria to help them, for example, right? Or Ver used it to convince Mother to help him, or Mother used that to convince Ver to help her, or something like that. If the moon crashing down is genuinely an issue, and if they genuinely want to solve that issue, this is probably like the shittiest plan in the history of shitty plans. We can't retreat now. Slap, slap. And Maria, Kirika, and Shirabe perfectly fine with it. Sure, Kirika and Shirabe are, there are tears welling in their eyes. But ultimately, nothing's gonna change. Sure, Maria is angry about it, but ultimately, she isn't gonna speak up. Ver could be having fun with the two of them at night when nobody looks, and nobody here would give a fuck. Mother would probably say, that's the price of Ver being our ally. slap, slap, go back to your room. And I fucking hate it. Maria, Kirika, and Shirabe are redeemable. And I want to redeem them. And I hope and I suspect that Kirika will be the first one to be swayed. Then Shirabe will follow. Maria will need a stronger impulse to be swayed to the light side. She's gonna be the last one to leave Mother and Ver. Neither Mother nor Ver are redeemable in my eyes. Honestly. Honest. In the last season, depending how you span it, Finé was redeemable, still, despite all she did. And I was honestly hoping, by the end, that she would be redeemed by Hibiki. But in the end, she decided to drag the moon onto the Earth, so that kinda was a moot point, but I was honestly hoping that she's redeemable. If Mother or Ver are redeemed, I'm just gonna flip my shit. I'm just gonna flip my shit. Unless it's the form of redemption where they're dying, bleeding out with missing limbs, and their last breath is like, Maria, I always loved you. And they died, and they're dead. Unless it's something like that, I'm gonna flip my shit. They're irredeemable. And Shin, of course, Ver is using noise. News of a cataclysmic disaster that we are powerless to prevent would only throw the world into disarray. Are you powerless to prevent it? Certainly you're having a plan how to do that. I mean, sure, the plan seems to be to unite the entire world and to use the funding and the researchers and the military and whatnot from across the globe to save them, but that only means it's possible to save the moon from falling. So you're not powerless to prevent it. If you were to reveal that information, it would put pressure on governments worldwide to do something about it. And they probably would have been able to do something about it. Right? I mean, the kind of technology we've seen in this world so far makes me fully convinced that they would be able to actually just fix the moon. I mean, have Hibiki, Tsubasa, and Chris just fly to the moon, grab it, engage boosters, engage Chris's rockets and whatnot, sing their suicide song, and just push it away. It would have worked. By the logic of this show, it genuinely would have worked. If Finé was able to drag a piece of moon onto the Earth, if the three of them were able to blow up that piece of moon, the three of them would be able to push the moon away. Hell, probably Kirika, Shirabe, and Maria, the three of them, probably would have been able to do that as well. That makes their plan even worse, even shittier. Our answer is the Nephilim. Yeah, we're gonna unite the world with the Nephilim. Yes, how will we? Yeah, we will unite the world and form one country and government to protect them. How exactly? That's a question. Sorry. Sure, you have a plan to unite the world, but what then? What then? Do you even have the first idea about governing? Probably not. Mother is a researcher. Maria is a singer. Shirabe and Kirika are just school kids. Ver is a psychopath. I guess Ver would be the most suited to be a politician and a ruler, but he doesn't exactly have the, sufficient pedigree, so to speak. It really is a shitty plan. Though your fists may be able to protect a few. Yep. Think of how many more lives they will take. And that takes Hibiki aback for some reason. She has a flashback to Shirabe, that's why you're a hypocrite. And that makes her blunder. But why? Why exactly did Ver's words and Shirabe's words have this impact on Hibiki? Like, I could understand it if she had some bad memories about, I don't know, going to fight against the noise, and since she picked fighting the noise over trying to save civilians, some civilians died, for example. Or when she was out of school fighting the noise, there was a fire at the school and some people died, and Hibiki believes that if she wasn't fighting the noise, she would have been able to save her friends, or something like that. Then Ver's words have some weight behind them. And Hibiki's reaction makes sense. Like, sure, I'm trying to save people, but so many people died because of me. But it's not the case. So far, Hibiki's only been saving people. No one died because of her. No one was even injured because of her. So why did it have such a huge effect on her? I don't know. Unless it's explained, I'm gonna count it as a bit of a, you know, dip in writing. I'm just gonna check it up as a little bit of a dip in writing. Because I honestly don't understand why Hibiki would react this way to Ver's words and to her memory of what Shirabe said about Hibiki being a hypocrite. Hibiki isn't a hypocrite. Not once has she shown anything that would have made her even resemble a hypocrite in any shape or form. So what gives? And a chomp. I'm curious what's gonna happen with Hibiki's hand. Hmm. I genuinely am interested. That's probably uh, one of two things that I'm curious about this episode. First thing that I want to see a continuation of is Kirika, Shirabe, and Maria standing up to Mother, standing up to Ver, and joining our main trio. How is it gonna happen? When is it gonna happen? I'm curious about that. Second thing is what's gonna become of Hibiki's hand. Could it be that the fact that she's partially a relic makes it so that her arm just grows back? Does she gain a immaterial left hand, like made of relic tissue itself? Her left arm is just a full relic? Something like that? Maybe. Does she get a prosthetic? The level of technological advancement in this world does make me think that she possibly could get a prosthetic. I hope they don't just shrug it off by, I don't know, Hibiki gets a second henshin and her arm just grows back and that's it. I really hope they're not gonna cheapen it that way. There's a manga out there, a galactic captain in another world, something like that. Essentially, a dude's like starship crashes on some planet, and that planet has magic and whatnot, and it's inhabited by humans, and it's kind of isekai, but kind of not isekai. Generally, good read, can recommend it. But one bit I didn't like there is one of the characters lost, I believe, an arm and a leg. No, I think just a leg. Yeah, one of the characters there lost a leg. And I was excited because, hey, the galactic commander or whatever arrived here. He has access to at least some of the technology. He has, like, nanomachines within his blood, and there's still some debris from the ship orbiting the planet, so he has access to some lab equipment and whatnot on board of the ship, and he can use nanomachines to craft things. And I was excited because is that character gonna get a bionic leg? Oh, that would be so cool, right? There's a medieval society with magic and whatnot, and this character suddenly just gets a bionic leg. How cool would that be, right? Someone tries to, I don't know, slice her leg off, and oh no, it's metal and she can use it to her advantage and whatnot. But no, the main character just used nanomeshes to grow her leg back, and it's incredibly anticlimactic because it essentially brought them back to status quo. I don't like it when missing body parts just grow back. I don't like it when stories like constantly try to bring everything back to status quo. Right? When the storyline is basically there's the status quo, something happens, we're branching off, and then we're back to status quo. Something's branching off, back to status quo. We're going further, branching off, back to status quo. And then we're continuing, right? I fucking hate it. I'd much rather events of a story have an impact on the story further. That's why immediately, any series, be it manga, anime, show, whatever, that shows visual progression of its characters has like a whole entire score higher from me from the get-go. If the main character of a story is dressed one way in like episode 1 or chapter 1 and changes their clothes like every couple of volumes or every few episodes, instant thumbs up. I hate the trope of the character looking exactly the same at the beginning as they look at the end. I fucking hate it. That's why I was so excited to notice that the Symphogears they are using look ever so slightly different in this season. I really like it. I really like this detail. And I hope that Hibiki losing her arm is not gonna be completely inconsequential. I'm hoping that either it's gonna regrow, but it's gonna be made of relic tissue, or there's gonna be a higher concentration of relic tissue there. Her left arm is gonna essentially become like the Gungnir spear, right? Made of the same stuff, made of the mechanical mumbo jumbo, not of flesh and blood. Or I hope she gets a prosthetic. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I have my hopes. And that's it. That's the episode. That's the episode. Overall, good, enjoyable episode. A lot of abuse, a lot of abusive relationship, which I don't like. But it's not that I don't like it in the meaning of I don't like it being in the show. The writing is bad because of that. No, no, I have just a visceral reaction whenever I witness an abusive relationship. That kind of I don't like, right? It makes sense for the characters, it makes sense for the story, it gives Kirika and Shirabe a reason to defect, it gives Maria a reason to defect. So I see the significance of it, but I don't like the fact of it. I don't like Bulk and Skull being abused. I don't like Maria being abused. Right? In that meaning, in that sense of the word of not like. Uh, what else is there to mention? I think, or rather, I hope that aforementioned defection is gonna happen soon-ish. It's certainly looking that way. I'm kind of hoping that by the next episode, maybe perhaps, right? Hibiki, Chris, and Tsubasa fighting against the noise. They're just going crazy, and maybe Kirika and Shirabe helping them somehow, breaking out of their confinement and deciding to help, and deciding to, I don't know, join their cause, join their school, or something like that, right? Maybe Maria freeing them, maybe Maria helping them, right? Something like that. Because there's been a lot of foreshadowing of it in this episode. Sure, we've seen signs of all three of them possibly defecting at one point or another in previous episodes, but this current episode was very heavy in that. Very, very, very heavy in that. Kirika and Shirabe singing was one thing. They didn't have to. And not only like plot wise, but also story wise. There was no real reason for them to sing to progress the story. But they did, so that the audience can see that they are good at singing, that they enjoy singing, and that they were having the time of their life. But as soon as they got a call from Mother, they suddenly became all sad that they have to go. Right? It's one very, very strong show that, very strong event that shows us they will defect eventually. Another thing is the children who investigated the noise. Were they really needed story wise? No. They came there completely out of nowhere. But they were needed to show how ruthless Ver and Mother are. And it served to show that Maria isn't. That Maria is still redeemable. And that she doesn't agree with everything that Ver and Mother do, but she's stuck where she is. Yeah, this episode was very heavy handed when it comes to signs of our evil trio eventually defecting and joining our main trio. Definitely. I think that was like the main purpose of this episode. Sure, expanding on the motivations of the villains a little bit, but I am honestly still not convinced about their motivations. I really am not. I have a feeling that there could have been so many ways to go better about it, and they chose like the dumbest, the stupidest way. But it is what it is, I guess. I don't have to like it. It is what it is. It showed us a little bit of the flashbacks, which again makes their whole plan all the dumber. But again, it is what it is. But mainly the purpose of this episode was to show us that the evil trio might eventually one day defect. Yep, and I'm waiting for it. And of course, we got a cliffhanger in a classic Symphogear fashion. I can definitely see cliffhangers being much heavier this time around, for sure. But yeah, I can't wait to see what's gonna happen next. I really think it's gonna be Kirika or Shirabe or Maria helping our main trio. Probably not Maria. Maria is like the deepest into the abusive relationship. It's probably gonna be Kirika, if anyone. Can't wait to see that. Can't wait to see that. And maybe I won't have to. Maybe I'm just gonna watch episode 6. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about it a little bit. But right now, that's gonna be it. Leave you guys now. Leave me a comment down below. What did you think of this episode? Of my reaction, of my theories? Just leave everything spoiler free. I beg of you. I don't want to be spoiled. I want to experience it all myself, completely blind. Please, if you even have an inkling of a doubt that something you want to say might be a spoiler, just don't. You can join the Discord server and you can use the Symphogear channel and use the spoiler tags to talk about spoilers there, or don't use spoiler tags and talk about non-spoilery stuff. I don't click spoilers. If it's not hidden in a spoiler, I read it, so that's how it works. Leave a like if you liked it, leave a dislike if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases, not only Symphogear G, but also Review Starlight. That's another non-seasonal show I'm watching this time around. Skeleton Knight in Another World, Spy X Family, Shokei Shoujo no Virgin Road, and Tate no Yusha no Nariagari Season 2. Those are other shows I'm watching. And if you're interested in any of those, some of them are going to be in the cards in the corner, the rest on my channel. So visit it and check them out if you want. If you want to support me monetarily, you can do so on Patreon. Link in the description, and my Patreon name is right here. And joining my Patreon gives you benefits. For $10, you get early access to non-seasonal shows, which is Symphogear and Review Starlight. If you want to watch the future episodes right now, you can do so that way. And for just $1, you get a special row on my Discord server. It gives you access to a special channel. It gives you access to an orange name, and it's cool all around. And no matter the tier you subscribe to on my Patreon, you also get a place in the credits. So that's another way that I appreciate you guys. And lastly, share this video with people who you know would enjoy it, so that the word about my content might spread through the word of mouth. And I'm gonna get more viewers, and I'm gonna be happy because I really like it when people watch my content. Who could have known? Right? That content creators like when their content is being watched. But yeah, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's the list of patrons that I mentioned before. Here's the credits, and you can join this merry gang if you so wish.